Hello, and welcome to Cooking with Real Simple Mama, the show where we don't really care about feeding the humans, but everything we do is for the chickens. And today we're going to be talking about giving fresh pumpkin to your backyard flock. All right, so this video is going to be about our seasonal favorite, fresh pumpkin, and giving it to your backyard chickens, which is a great idea, but there's been a little bit of misinformation online, and I think some people tend to overthink it a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is talk to you, looking at you for a second, then I'm gonna cut up this bad boy and we're gonna take it out to the flock. So pumpkin or any kind of squash has a lot of benefits for your backyard chickens. Particularly the seeds and the gunk that's around the seeds. There is a lot of vitamin A, a lot of vitamin E, and other things that just help keep your chickens nice and healthy. And what's great about things like pumpkin is the timing of when pumpkins are usually ready to harvest. It's when the weather is starting to get cold outside. And just like we start to get flu season and cold season and everybody gets sick, it's a great immune system boost to help out your flock. So this can help a lot with immunity, just helping them to make sure that they're getting all of the vitamins that they need in their diet. Now, something that I've learned recently as I was preparing to do this video is that there is sort of some misinformation going around on the backyard groups online that giving fresh pumpkin is a dewormer for your chickens, meaning it's the equivalent of you giving them a worming medication, that it just flushes out their system with any kind of internal parasites like worms. The research that I've done, that's not necessarily true. It hasn't been proven. It's suspected in other animals like livestock, like cattle and goats, but nobody's really done the research to sit and break down what it is about what's inside the pumpkin flesh or on the seeds or anything like that. So just so you know, pumpkin is a really good, healthy thing for your flock, but it's not the same as giving them a worming medication, so don't use it for that. And of course, even if it was a good worming preventative, if your chickens have confirmed cases of worms, and you can see my videos about that to kind of get an idea, giving them pumpkin isn't going to eradicate the problem. You would need to do something more than that. So really quickly, a couple of other things about giving pumpkin to your flock. You can give them carved jack-o'-lanterns, and you can give them pumpkins if they've been painted with non-toxic paint. Like the same thing, if you'd be okay with your toddler licking it, then it would be okay for your chickens. Chickens normally aren't gonna be pecking at the outside of the pumpkin that much. They will eat everything on the inside. They will eat the hard flesh that you cut through and carve through. They'll eat the slimy stuff, they'll eat the seeds. And in my research, it looks like the seeds are the most nutritional part, but they can eat all of it on the inside. Of course, if there's any kind of glitter, if you're not sure what the paint is, like I ask my neighbors to give me their pumpkins after Halloween. If you're not sure what kind of paint it is, don't use it. Put them in your compost bin or your organics can or something like that. And of course, if you see any kind of either furry, fuzzy mold, or it's starting to turn black, it's discoloring, or it has a sour smell, don't give it to your chickens. If it's not something you wouldn't be comfortable taking a bite out of, don't give it to your flock. So the last thing that I'll say is that you want to cut it up so your chickens can access it. So I couldn't give it to my chickens just like this. I'd have to cut it. What I'm going to do is cut it in half, or maybe cut it into quarters, because I just integrated my new girls, and that way I've got some more pieces that I can share. And then the last thing before you give it to your flock is that if you want to give it to them in the morning or the afternoon, it doesn't really matter. I wouldn't bother giving it to them late in the evening because they're going to be going up to bed soon. And then once your chickens have gone to bed for the night, that same day, you need to clean this stuff out. Don't leave it overnight. Don't let them try to eat the rest of it in the morning. Pick it up. Number one, because you don't want it to start getting moldy and disgusting and flies laying eggs in it and all kinds of nastiness. But also, you don't want to be attracting any kind of nocturnal pests to your coop or your run or your chicken area who are looking to eat this after your chickens go to bed. So make sure you clean it up. All right, I'm out here with a pumpkin and I'm doing this by myself. So forgive me for the terrible videography. We also had our water main break. So the crew was tearing up my street. Yay! So what I did is I chopped the pumpkin in half almost all the way around, just not around by the stem, because if it's mostly in half, then when you drop it, it will split open. Get it, girls? And here are my new girls. Here's Miss Muffet. Here comes Talaria. Carmen Hendiego. Well, we don't know where she is. That's why that's her name, right? So what I'm going to do is put 1/2 of the pumpkin on either side of the run, just because this new trio walking by, they're still getting acclimated. So again, this is a really good, healthy treat. They will eat the hard, I don't know what you would call it, the meat or the flesh. They will eat this down. They'll eat the slime in there. They'll eat the seeds. So it's morning right now, and I brought it out in the morning so that the girls have all day to eat it. And then at night, when I come up to take attendance and tuck everybody in and say goodnight, I'm gonna pick these pieces up and throw them out. So they can go in the organics bin that my city comes and picks up. Get it, girls? So you can see Calypso's already ripping up that flesh. Get it. Come on, chick, chick. And these girls, I think, weren't used to getting different kinds of treats and stuff where they were. Good girl, Miss Muffet. Come on, girls. Get in. And so then what I'm going to do, I have my friends are dropping off uncut pumpkins that they painted or pumpkins they just used to decorate with, now that we're almost in the middle of November. So I'm going to have a steady flow of pumpkins. I'm also going to look up how to freeze them. I'm guessing I'm just going to cut them in half, leave all of the junk in them, wrap them up really well, and put them in the deep freezer. Come on, girls. So poor Carmen, she thought she was getting attacked by a leaf. Come on, tick, 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 tick. So what we're dealing with, again, is a treat that's really healthy for them, something that's good and fresh for them to eat. There's no risks of them eating this. Right, chick chicks? But 2 quick tips. Number 1, remember that this is not a dewormer. This is not the same as getting them a medication if they are infested with worms or if you suspect they have some kind of parasite. Okay, remember that the worming aspect of fresh pumpkin and squash hasn't been proven. And then the other thing is, here comes my little forest fairy. Then the other thing is that, hey, if you're giving your chickens anything other than the layer food, you need to make sure that you offer grit for them, which is crushed granite. And that will help make sure that they don't end up with any blockage problems in their crop or their gizzard. So they're gonna get to enjoy this all day. And then we're gonna go and dump it out tonight so that we don't have any unwanted guests. And so there you have it, fresh pumpkin for your chickens. Tick, 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 tick. Get it, girls. There you go, Cal. God. Get in. There you go. We just needed someone to be the first one to try it. Come on, girls. Hi, nice. Hello. Get it, tick ticks. There you go, Grace. Tick, 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 ticks. So now I'm out here with these, oh God, with like the were chickens. Hi, Gracie. Grace. She's admiring my new shoes. Look. Yay. Chicken shoes. Finally, now I'm like a legit chicken tender, right? Right. So unfortunately, these jack-o'-lanterns that I've halved for them, God, Gracie's poor bare little butt, they don't have the slime and the seeds and stuff in them. Because we carved these pumpkins yesterday, the girls got the slime and everything yesterday. And as far as that theory with having any type of worming benefit, the theory was that it's mostly in the seeds of pumpkins or of any type of squash, but that the flesh of the squash or the pumpkin is also beneficial. Lots of vitamin A, vitamin E, right, girls? Tick, 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 tick. Get it. So now you can see my little vicious dinosaurs going after this poor harmless pumpkin. Blue, you like my shoes, Blue? She's had that feather stuck on the side of her face for like 3 days, and it's driving me crazy. I'm resisting the urge to just grab her and get it off of her face. Hey, Bluebird. Hey, chicks. Get in. So they were leery at first, but now they're going to town, and we'll have to see what it looks like by the end of the day. And remember, we're not going to leave this out overnight. That's gross. It'll get moldy and nasty, and we also don't want it to attract any other animals in the area who are nocturnal. Something like somebody who's opportunistic, like a raccoon or a possum. So we'll have to get rid of it by evening. Hi, girls. What are you doing over here, Bluebird? Hey, pretty girl. Hi. I know our neighbor's watching some kind of trashy TV, and so she's like, did you hear what she's watching? What is it, Blue? Pretty little girl.